The mark of a true neoteric and lyric poet is to create art through the medium of words. Visual imagery, creative metaphors, and personal emotions allow the poet to comment on their society, or to express an opinion. Catullus and Horace illustrate these perfectly in their poems Catullus 7 and Horace 1.23. Both poems exhibit an extensive amount of metaphors for each poet to convey his point. While Catullus evokes his passion for Lesbia, Horace's metaphors mock the suitors of Chloe, revealing her hypocrisy and deceit. Catullus 7 in hendecasyllabic. Quae ris quot mihi tiones. Tu I lesbia sint satis superque. Quam magnus numerus libis sarenae. La serpe cife ris jacet cyrenis. Oraclum Iovis inter aestuosi, et bati veteris sacrum sepulcrum, aut quam sidera multa cum tacet nox, furtivos hominum vident amores, tam te basia multa basiare, vesano satis et super catulest, quae nec per numerare curiosi, possint nec mala spacinare lingua. You ask how many kisses of yours, Lesbia, are enough and above for me. As great a number of Libyan sand lies on the Sylphium-bearing Cyrene, between the oracle of sweltering Jove and the sacred tomb of old Battus. Or as many stars, when the night is silent, look upon the secret loves of man. For you to kiss so many kisses is enough and beyond for crazy Catullus, which the curious may not be able to count, nor ill tongues may be able to charm. Horace 1.23 in Fourth Asclepiadia. Vitas et nulle o me similis Chloe, quae renti pavidam montibus aviis, matrem non sine vano, oraret silu metu, nam seu mobilibus veris in horuit, adventus foliis seu viri des rubum, dimovere lacertae, et cordet genibus tremit, at qui non ego te tigris ut aspera, gaetulus vele o frangere persecor, tandem de sine matrem, tempesti va se qui viro. You avoid me, Chloe, similar to a fawn, seeking the frightened mother in the pathless mountains, not without an empty fear of the breezes and the forest, for whether the advent of the spring has begun to bristle with moving leaves, or the green lizards have separated the bramble, she trembles in both the heart and in the knees. And I do not follow to break you like a harsh tiger or a Gaetulian lion. At length, Chloe understood, ripe for a man, stop following your mother. In the spirit of Catullus 7 and the artistic aspect of its metaphors, I made a drawing of Catullus. Catullus 7 uses two infinities to express his love for Lesbia. First, he addresses her question to give the poem context. Quote, Quae ris quote mihi tiones, tuae lesbia sint satis superque. You seek how many kisses of yours, Lesbia, is enough and above. Basiationes tuae, according to some editors, may be translated as kissings of you, creating a deliberate ambiguity that suggests Catullus and Lesbia are mutually affectionate. I think Catullus' response with his metaphors highlights his intellectual side. He understands that infinity, although difficult to fathom, can describe his love accurately. His first infinity describes sand, an innumerable quantity. Quam magnus numerus libissarenae. As great a number of Libyan sand. The metaphor develops a narrative in the poem, as though the reader is on a Libyan beach, with the sand stretching to the horizon. I think this metaphor relates to a painting by Raxrod Downes, one of my favorite English realists. Downes uses very simple, monotone hues to describe the simplicity of the sand, as you can see. The difficulty of comprehending this infinity creates a dynamic image. Downes' ability to create expansive paintings connects to Catullus' ability to show his passion with metaphor. Catullus' second metaphor makes us look upward at the starry night sky. Aut quam sidera multa cum tacet nox, furtivos hominum vident amores. Or as many stars, when the night is silent, look upon the secret loves of man. The personification of the stars and its symbolism of the divinities creates a very visual metaphor. I think this image humbles Catullus' relationship to Lesbia. He is not annoyed by the judgment of other people, or even of the gods. Also, the seemingly innumerable amount of stars that Catullus describes again displays his love for Lesbia. When reading this, I felt exactly like Calvin in this comic by Bill Watterson, looking up at the stars with wonder. This very visual narrative, I believe, is attributed to Catullus' neoteric flair and poetic ability to weave words. Stephen Bertram, in his essay Oral Imagery in Catullus 7, claims that the poem's metaphors subtly alludes to Lesbia's mouth. He says that the Sophium, described in line 4, quote, is analogous to Lesbia's kisses, which, when administered like medicine to her lover's mouth, would bring rest and relief to the Wesano, crazy. This idea ties the poem neatly, as though Catullus is subliminally trying to urge Lesbia. In Horace 1.23, Horace attempts to lure Chloe, and his literal meaning contrasts his rhetoric. He exclaims that Chloe should not fear him, while his words emphasize his almost predatory nature. For example, the Vitas and Chloe literally avoids me in, quote, Vitas e nuleo, me similis Chloe. You avoid me, Chloe, similar to a fawn. Horace also seems to be hypocritical. The Lytodes of, quote, non sine wano, met tu, not without an empty fear, demonstrates his deceit that he plays on Chloe. He later continues to show aggression against Chloe, despite his disclaimers, shown in the harsh verb frangere, to crush. His examples of tigris ut aspera, gaetulusve leo, like a sharp tiger or a Gaetulian lion, adds violence to the narrative, chasing the innocent fawn that is Chloe. Clearly, from the diction and the word order, Horace is aware of how hypocritical he sounds. Perhaps he is mocking Chloe's deceitful suitors, always trying to lure and seduce her with trickery. The imagery and metaphor of the poem is certainly evident of Horace's imagination and storytelling ability. Horace generates a poem full of inner and outer emotions. For example, Horace concocts a description of the spring with the inceptive "in horuit" has begun to bristle, the windy elision of "oraret" and breezes, and the vibrant animals "virides lacertae" green lizards. M. Owen Lee praises Horace for this imaginative poem in his essay Horace 1.23 Simile and Metaphor. Quote, "Not only the fawn and the tiger, but all the woodland images fit naturally and beautifully." End quote. The detailed setting provides a better context for Horace to weave this story of an innocent fawn, making the narrative more immersive and engaging, I think. Horace and Catullus are both artists. Their ability to tell a story, capture the reader, and create abstract images marks their style and flair. Certainly, these odes, although short, surround the reader with characters, emotions, and a narrative that heightens the essence of each poem.